I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Listen, I was watching the television, the news the other night. This woman, Reid, said some things that just blew my wig off. I could not believe this woman was saying this about Jesus. These people, we are in the tribulation. There's no doubt about that. We need to be mindful of that. Our social area is going to get worse. I'm going to tell you that I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe the reason why Reid said these blasphemous, in the terms of biblical doctrine, things about Jesus in support of gay pride is not that she believes what she is saying. She may have a distaste for Jesus in her mouth. I don't know, and I can't allege that she does. But I'll tell you now, I'm going to let you listen to what she says, and then I'll tell you why she said what she said. But first, I'm going to let you listen. Leave my mic open, Mr. Engineer.
Hearings on Capitol Hill sometimes include, let's just say, odd moments. But yesterday, we saw something just straight up bizarre during a hearing of the Senate's Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, when one Republican senator decided to go after a children's book.
I have a book here in front of me called Our Skin that has been endorsed by NACI. And I'm going to read exactly what this book says. You guys might find it interesting. A long time ago, way before you were born, a group of white people made up an idea called race. They sorted people by skin color and said that white people were better, smarter, prettier, and they deserved more than everybody else. This would be taught if we socialize our pre-K system. This would be taught.
Do you disagree with that findings in the book?
1,000%. How about we teach Jesus loves me? How about this? In teaching Jesus loves the little children, the lyrics go, red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in our sight. Someone point at me that this being a truth, that white people developed race, that white people developed that all of a sudden that was our word that we developed.
The shouty gentleman demanding to know whether it's better to teach Jesus loves me or a Christian children's song, or Our Skin, a first conversation about race, which is a children's book about race, is Mark Wayne Mullen, a former cage fighter turned Republican senator from Oklahoma, who I should note claims Cherokee heritage and pointed that out in the hearing. It was kind of a dumb question, though, right? I mean, you wouldn't teach a Jesus song in a public elementary school because, well, it's not Sunday school. It's not church. It's a school. And there are likely kids in that school who aren't Christian, don't know who Jesus is, and don't care. And their parents, who might be Buddhist or Jewish or Muslim or atheist, etc., have a right to not have their kids' teachers preach the Jesus to them. But the other reason why what the senator said is dumb is that the scary book that he waved around is correct on the facts. Allow me to quote the historians from the Smithsonian's National Museum of African American History and Culture right here in the nation's capital. Quote, before the mid-1600s, there is no evidence that the English referred to themselves as being white people. This concept did not occur until 1613, when the English society first encountered and contrasted themselves against the East Indians through their colonial pursuits. Even then, there was not a large body of people who considered themselves white, as we know the term today. From about the 1550s to 1600, white was exclusively used to describe elite English women because the whiteness of their skin signaled that they were persons of a high social class who did not go outside to labor. However, the term white did not refer to elite English men because the idea that men did not leave their homes to work could signal that they were lazy, sick, or unproductive. European colonists' use of the word white to refer to people who looked like themselves grew to become entangled with the word race and slave in the American colonies in the mid-1660s. These elites created races of savage Indians, subhuman Africans, and white men. The social inventions succeeded in uniting the white colonists, dispossessing and marginalizing native people, and permanently enslaving most African-descended people for generations, unquote. So the answer to your silly question, Senator, the book best used, the book that's best to use if you want to talk to kids about race is the actual book about race that's grounded in historical fact. Because trust me, kids know that race is a thing. But feel free to sing the Jesus song to your kids at home.
There are a couple of things. One is that Joy Reid, I want to tell you why I believe that she spoke so blasphemously and disrespectful and contemptible about Jesus. But first, her argument was, well, maybe there are people in the school who doesn't want to hear about Jesus. They're Buddhist or they're Jewish or they're whoever, and so therefore Jesus is unimportant to them. Well, I would contend that there were people in the school who doesn't want to hear about race either, doesn't want to hear about our skin or the name of that book because it's unimportant to them. So your argument can be countered in a much stronger way, Joy. But I believe that the reason why she did that is twofold. Number one is that she's not getting the kind of ratings that she should get. And because of social media, and CNN and others are all losing their audiences to people who have iPhones, who have a supercomputer in their hands, a television, a radio, a telephone, a calculator. And so these news programs are losing their ratings, and Joy is losing hers. You may have noticed if you watch Joy, if you watch MSNBC or watch CNN or Fox News, you notice now they're all standing now. They're moving away from the desk, the Walter Cronkite desk, David Brinkley, Chet Huntley's, Barbara, whatever her name was, they're moving away from the desk and they're all standing because they're trying to get a greater profile, look a little bit more sexy. All the women are dressing sexy. They're dressing more colorful. They're showing more cleavage now than Barbara Walters ever would have dreamed of showing because they're losing ratings. And Joy could be on the verge of going out the door. And I think she sold her soul to blaspheme Jesus, because there are a lot of people who love to hear that kind of talk against Jesus. The other thing is she's holding down Chris Matthews. Chris Matthews, who was a well-trained journalist who was very good at what he did had that the name of his broadcast at that time, his hour was called Hardball. He was very interesting. He was very thorough. He had been around Capitol Hill for quite some time and put together a really good broadcast. I tell you who does do a good broadcast of all the people, whether it be Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, or Wolf Blitzer, or Joy Reid, or Ari Melber, or any of them. I think Lawrence O'Donnell does a really even better than some of the others. I think that have been Rachel Maddow, for instance, just to call another name, who only does one once a week now on Monday nights. If you want to catch Rachel Maddow. I think Rachel realized that television broadcasting news broadcast is on its way out. CNN is I think they made some good changes. I don't know if it's going to sustain them because social media people and then the Gen Zers are not that interested. And Fox News pretty much has got most of the baby boomers. Because the baby boomers just can't deal with CNN and others. So that's the reason why. So she cannot hold a candle to what Chris Matthews used to do. And he walked off the set. Some woman said he made a sexual inappropriate suggestion to her. He said, Chris Matthews said, the heck with it. I'm not finding this. And he left. But I don't think she's holding that spot. And I think she's losing. And she's trying to be more sexy, trying to be more provocative. And she blasted Jesus. That's what I think. And what I think is usually always right. If I'm wrong, then prove to me that I am. But at any rate,